Good morning, Facebook. How's it going? It's Yvonne Ashton here, Director of Marketing for Mayesh Wholesale Florist, and I am welcoming you to our March Mornings with Mayesh show. I am going to give everyone a few minutes to come on in and join us and go over some housekeeping and intro things. There's a big mass email that just went out right this second, and so hopefully we'll have a lot more people watching. But welcome, everyone. So while you guys are coming in, please say hello. I would love to see who is here. Where are you from? Hi, Penny. Good morning, Christina. Thank you for joining us. Who else is here? Let me know. Go ahead and post in the comments. Say good morning, where you're from, and we love seeing that. While you guys are coming in, I'll be here today chatting with Dave Taggy, Shelly Anders. She's having some technical difficulties this morning, so we're trying to get that figured out. So it might be just Dave and I in the beginning of the show. We'll see. That's the beauty of live video, yeah. And then I also have a special guest with us, Judy Duncan. She is a past Mayesh design star. She has her own design business, and she just recently launched a really cool consulting biz called Social Jody. So I wanted to chat with her and with you guys. It'll be a really good conversation. Good morning, Erica. Hi, guys. Katrina, good morning from North Carolina. Nice to see you guys. We have people from Erica from Charlotte. Katie from Southern Illinois. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us. I also wanted to let you guys know that my teammate, Allie, she is in the control room, if you will, and she's going to be helping post links for your reference as we're talking and help answer questions as well. So keep it coming, guys. Say hello. Good morning. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining us for our Mornings with Mayesh show. Also, before we get started, please share this on Facebook and let everyone know that this super awesome live video is starting right now. Any of the floral groups that you belong to, I would appreciate a share. Thank you very much. I also wanted to point out, feel free to post your questions and comments below, and if we have time, we will cover them. Otherwise, we'll roll them over to our next show. We do that a lot. We love having your questions. We love having you as part of the show. You guys help create and produce this show, and so we love it. I just heard that Shelly thinks she got her audio working, so that is awesome. Good, good, good. We will find out, right? Hi, Kim from Central Ohio. Welcome to the show, guys. Okay, so I also wanted to let you guys know that I will be posting this replay on our blog. It usually takes me a day or two to get that done because I have a lot of catching up after the show to do with my other work, but it should be up tomorrow or the next day. I also wanted to let you know, just in case you haven't heard, that I figured out how to repurpose this video and put it in podcast format. Super excited. There's a lot of back and forth and converting and uploading and downloading, but I can do it. So I'm on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. The podcast player will also be included in all of the replay posts for 2018. So I started with January and February and in March. I would love to hear from you guys right this second in our comments, if you can take a minute and let me know. So I feel like my show is a little bit two parts, right? The first part is with Dave and Shelly, and then I have a second part with our guest. I was thinking about splitting the podcast into two. So the first half, this piece of it, and then the second half with our guest interview. So about 30 minutes each instead of over an hour-long podcast. I'd love to know what you guys prefer, if it matters. I don't know, but I just thought I'd ask you guys right now. So keep me posted. Let me know your thoughts on podcasting and kind of how you prefer to consume all of that yummy content. All right. Also wanted to let you know that today's show is brought to you by Mayesh Design Star Flower Workshop Tour. I wish I had like a special voice to say that because I feel like I need to have a commercial voice, right? But I hope to see you at one of our stops. We're going to be in Charleston, Seattle, Santa Barbara, and Salt Lake City. 2018. Visit Mayesh.com for more information, more details, RSVP. Charleston is over halfway sold out, and that is in May. So it's going to be a good one. We're figuring out some collaborations and going to be having a model and beautiful dresses, and we're going to do bouquets instead of centerpieces and have kind of a whole styled shoot thing going on as well. So it's going to be really super cool. Also, before I bring on Dave and Shelly, I wanted to let you know to mark your calendars for April 10th for our next April Mornings with Maya show. I love having you guys, so keep visiting me. All right, we're going to keep on going. Video stopped, Penny says. I don't know, it's not stopped on my end, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. Maybe do a refresh. And I wanted to say hello to Catherine from Scotland. Woo! I love it. I love when everyone is here. I love seeing people from all over the world. That is amazing. All right, guys. So let's add Dave and Shelly, and let's see how this goes. Woo! Hi, Dave. Hey, Shelly.
Good morning.
Nope, I can't hear you. Oh, we thought we were going to get her. Oh, I love you, Shelly. I wish I could read lips. That would be amazing, right? But I can't. So I'm going to let Shelly go. We are going to still cover her parts, though. She's such an important piece to the show. We love her. And while she is here, I just want to make sure that you check out her very first blog post, Beyond the Gram. It's amazing. Got tons of great feedback. And I want you guys to check it out. I know her and Allie are working on the next blog post, so stay tuned for that. That should be coming out shortly. Love you, Shelly. Have a good day. Bye. All right, Dave, we're holding down the fort.
All right, I'll be narrating. So
it's all good. I can help too. So I'm just sad too because I know Shelly had some goodies to show everyone. But we'll get through this, right? So it'll be all good. So we're always going to get started. Well, I had changed it around because I, wanted to start with a question first. So I think that's what we'll do here. Our first question is from Gay. She wants to know what our favorite regular roses are that open nicely, that look similar to expensive garden roses. Any tricks of the trade when substituting? I know at the end of the day there are no substitutions really, but she wants to get our thoughts on there. Dave, I know Shelly answered this from her point of view.
Okay, this is from Shelly. Hi, Gay, great question. Actually, yes, you can create this look with just about any nice standard rose that has a high petal count and opens nicely. She demonstrates a technique in her workshops on how to do this. She was going to show it here. Unfortunately, we'll reschedule that for another time.
Yeah.
This is one that I just recently learned. The standard rose polo opens up really nice, like a garden rose. It kind of has a little bit of a twist in the middle. And you can also reflex that one. I don't know if people still do that. One of my favorite white roses right now is Playa Blanca. It's got a really high petal count. It's got those scalloped edges to all the petals. It opens just like a garden rose. It doesn't really have the garden rose fragrance, but it'll give you that look. There's a peach called Shimmer that does the same thing. There's a light pink called Pink Mondial we really like here. There's a bunch of them actually.
Yeah.
So talk to your sales rep, give them your color palette. They're hybridizing more and more roses that have that garden look without the garden price. So
yeah. I like a lot of the, I don't know if they're still popular now, but a lot of the finesse types of roses, they
are
like
still
the frilly
growing.
petals, and they look very garden rose-ish too.
Yeah, it's too bad we don't have any here to show you.
I know. They're really pretty. I'll try and post some pictures though of some of that. And I know the Shimmer Rose, I posted that on Instagram a while back, and that just everyone loved it. It kind of blew up. I was lucky, and Brian brought me a few stems home to open up here, and I got to take some pretty pictures. So that always makes me happy.
One of the perks of the biz. Shelly does go on to say the trick is to get your roses opening up ahead of time. Gently use your fingers to relax them and kind of reflex them open. Also, removing the center petals and exposing the filament, anther, and seed grain gives that illusion as well.
Yeah.
This is an excellent trick for wedding and event work. And yes, the roses will hold up. So
I love it. And the like second to last sentence that you just said about the filament, anther, and seed grains, it's funny because my daughter, who's in third grade, is going over the anatomy of flowers. So I'm gonna talk about this and show this to her after when she gets home today. See, all those things you learn in school are important.
they are. Absolutely.
So Dave, what is going on in the world of flowers? We have a new Flower 411. Allie's going to be posting the link for you guys so you can check that out. But what else? What else from your point of view is going on?
All right. Well, I was going to go with the cliche green because we've got St. Patty's Day coming up this weekend on Saturday. So instead, I just wore my green because, you know, everybody's Irish for St. Patrick's Day.
Of course.
When we think about spring, we usually envision pastel, girly colors, and there are so many other cool flowers right now in those on-trend muted colors. So I have been gently over the weekend opening some of them so that I can show them. And some of them did really well, and a couple of them are holding on just by the skin of their chinny chin chin. So without further ado, we'll start out with the butterfly ranunculus.
I love butterfly ranunculus.
Okay, so these are huge, long stem bunches, as you can see. I got my cord in the way here. Okay, butterfly ranunculus are gaining in huge popularity. We really started seeing them a couple years ago. It is unique in having a lower petal count than a typical variety that we have been working with for years and years. It's a more open aperture, and it reveals a dark center and can somewhat resemble an anemone, though they come in a much larger color range than anemones. Their petals are slightly reflective, and it gives them a silky kind of shimmer that's really unique. And I pulled one bloom off. Hopefully it's still living. I'll try to get a close-up for you guys. I don't know how this camera is going to pick up the fine details on this stuff.
Let me see if I can make you bigger. Hold on.
I don't know if that's even focusing in properly.
Oh,
they're really cool.
There we go.
Bunch of variegation in there and really kind of waxy looking, shimmery, like sparkly petals. They almost don't look real. Oops, there goes one on the floor. So they're kind of fragile, so you do have to be careful with them. So that's the butterfly ranunculus. Lots of muted colors, very popular.
Yeah,
okay.
I love it. Ranunculus is such a huge flower right now, and people originally loved the Japanese Japanese ranunculus because they're so big, and some of the Italian varieties, they're so huge, but also the little tiny ones, you know, they have the little mini ones, and then the butterflies, those are really just as popular and on trend as well.
Yeah, they're very versatile flowers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. Spring favorite, guys, tulips. Who doesn't love tulips?
I love tulips. We talked about tulips in our last show too. So if you guys want to know more about tulips and how they move around and all of that, make sure you check out the replay.
I've got some here that are doing just that. I remember when I was a kid, the little leaves poking out of the snow at the end of the winter in Indiana and looking forward to warmer weather. They really remind me of my mom a lot. I think I said that last show. Their fragrance always brings me back to my childhood. So this is a Dutch-grown variety. It's a black parrot. It's a dark, moody aubergine tone. It has those cool scalloped texture on the edges of the petals.
It's beautiful.
It starts out kind of almost black and then goes lighter and lighter as it develops. Let's see, I got one I can hold up close there. So
it's beautiful.
Very cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not your average tulip. We like that. All right. Next superstar of the spring season are the Fritillarias, and I brought 3 different unique varieties to show you, and these are all imported from Holland, from the Aalsmeer auction. The first one is Fritillaria Meleagris. The Latin name is derived from dicebox and spotted guinea fowl. It is native to Europe, as you can imagine, with those references. They have dainty little bell-shaped flowers borne on short stems, perfect for tucking into bridal work or short bud vases. Let me get one where you can see really up close the checkered pattern that they have on the petals.
Oh, that looks good. That's like in perfect focus.
All right. It's really hard to get it to focus perfect, guys, so I apologize.
No, that looks beautiful. I love
Yeah.
the pattern of the petals. It's so amazing.
One of my favorite subjects to photograph because it's just so unique.
Mine too. I have lots of cool pictures.
The second variety of Fritillaria we're going to show is the Fritillaria Persica. As the name kind of indicates, it's native to Persia, this Aladdin Persica. It comes in shades of purple to greenish brown. And this variety is actually fairly hardy. They've got really long stems, as you can see, so they're nice to work in tall arrangements. But if I can kind of get up close, so you're going to focus for me.
There it goes.
There it goes.
Yeah.
So really cool. Moody, muted.
Before you move on, so Christina was asking, how do they hold up? I think that was about the Fritillaria, the kind of little dainty ones.
The Meleagris is actually very fragile. So you have to be careful in handling it. Once they open, they're super, they will dehydrate quickly. So the other two varieties seem to do much better. The Persica holds up super well. The Imperialis is the third variety, and it holds up pretty well also. This one is also known as the Skunk Lily due to its pungent aroma. So this is something you need to consider if you're going to be using this. It's said that planting these in your garden will repel moles and mice, and the folklore around this says they were growing near Christ's crucifixion, and to this day they still hang their heads in sorrow. They're real funky, kind of upside down looking,
and they have tears on the inside. But so if you look at them, I did a blog, or I don't know if it was a blog post or a video with David Dawson, and because he knows a lot about pretty much every single flower, so he talks about that, and it's really cool. The inside looks amazing. Just all those little tiny details.
Yeah. So anyway, those are the Fritillarias. There's a bunch of other varieties. Most of them are smaller. There is a green variety that looks similar to the Persica. The Imperialis comes in yellow, and then a bunch of other ones with cool Latin names that are hard to pronounce.
Right. Well, we need David for that. He knows like every single Latin name for every single flower. It's amazing.
It's definitely an art to memorize all that stuff.
Right. So before we move on to, we showed some small flowers, but Penny wants to know, do we stock up on extra small flowers for prom season? Do you want to talk a little bit about prom flowers? I don't know much about that. I know there's lots of spray roses involved with.
Well,
right?
I can speak, right, absolutely. No, I can speak from my experience here. We basically sell spray roses, dendrobium orchids, and the pre-made leis. So I will tell you that you do need to pre-book them about 2 weeks in advance. Our leis are pre-made in Thailand, actually. And we do encourage you to buy the full box. I believe the single leis are 10-packed and the doubles are 8-packed. The reason being that when we have to move them and repackage them, they're super susceptible to mechanical damage. You can crush them really easily, and just the oil from your skin can start to discolor the petals. So, because of where they come from, we need lead time to get them in here. And same with the spray roses. All the popular colors are going to go first. So don't wait till the last minute. Call us ahead of time and pre-book for prom. So.
Good. And then also Christina, we're getting lots of questions in the beginning, which is really cool. She wants to know, can you spell that, please? And I'm not sure, again, because that was at 1016, I think, one of the Fritillarias. But just so you know, Christina, I wanted to let you know that in the show notes, I post everything that we're talking about. So you'll get all the spellings and everything that we talked about. But the Fritillaria itself is Fritillaria. And I think, show that. Hold on real quick. Let me see if I can do that real quick.
And if you Google Fritillaria, it will come, like all the varieties will start to come up. And mind-boggling how many.
I'm so fancy. Okay, so that's there, but all the different specific varieties that we talked about will be in the show notes for you, for sure. I hope that helps. Keep the questions coming, though, guys. Do you have any other things to show us?
Oh, yeah, there's more.
Oh, awesome.
Unless we need to move on. You tell me, time-wise.
No, keep it coming.
Okay, so I'm going to try to do this a little quicker. We've got some giant kale coming in from California, folks.
Wow.
Okay.
California grown, baby.
Let me put this on my shoulder. That's the size of my head, guys. Look at
it's bigger than your head.
And the stem length on that's got to be 3 feet tall. This stuff is insane. I got the big rosette variety here. There's another one they sent us that's starting to bolt out, and that's when kale wants to bloom. It starts to elongate and come up before it puts out the bloom spike. But how funky is that? I mean, it gives you a couple different textures from the same type of kale.
It's very cool.
Really cool. Yeah, I love it when we get really like ginormous stuff in here. It's awesome.
Uh-huh.
All right. So this giant cruciferous rosette is related to the cabbage family. It loves this time of year for the cool nights and warm, sunny days. It's even kind of cool when they bolt out. So that was my show notes on that one.
Yeah, love it.
And then I pulled some Japanese peach lysianthus, and it is holding on pretty well for being over a week old. Look at the stem length on this guy. This is the champagne-y kind of color. It's kind of a peachy pink. Here's this single bloom that kind of faded out to a cream. So you've got all these different color variations just in one bunch, going from pinky blush to peachy cream. Very cool.
And I like that. And it's good for everyone to understand that happens with a lot of product. You know,
right.
I feel like people get really stuck on a specific color sometimes. But, you know, you have to be able to work with a range of colors because not everything comes in the same. Even in the same bunch, there's multiple colors. And that happens with lots of different product.
And as flowers develop and mature, they're going to, in most cases, fade in color. It's just the natural life cycle. So, okay.
Good stuff.
All right. 2 more things. I'll be quick. This isn't your typical spring flower, but we're getting all these really funky varieties of carnations right now out of South America. This is Copper Ecstasies, which I guess ecstasies is Spanish for ecstasy. Look at that. And another one that I've never seen with this much pink in it before, but it seems to also kind of either fade a little bit more, I guess maybe depending on temperature. Very cool, moody color. Sorry, I keep hitting my cord here. And another item out of South America. This is Chilean blackberries on the stem. This is a naturally thornless variety, so it's really user-friendly. But they cut them green. They last forever. Isn't that awesome? It's like a great substitute for Hypericum berry, which has been around since, the 90s?
Yeah. And Penny was asking about different fillers. I think that's new. I feel like that would be a good example of that for sure.
Yeah. So some funky different stuff there, guys.
Good stuff. Woo. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
I love show and tell, right? It's so much fun. You guys love it? Let me know. For our podcast listeners, for this part, there's not much I can do unless you're going to watch the video. So if you're listening to the podcast replay, be sure you check out the video so that way you can see all the beautiful product as well, guys. All right, so next question is in the floral design category. It's from Gay. She wants to know, what are good flowers to use for corsages and boutonnieres that will last a long time out of water, other than the usual suspects, spray roses, orangeum, waxflower, etc.? I was surprised to see bracelets and boutonnieres made out of ranunculus and just wonder if there are some favorite soft flowers that last a long time out of water. I like to make them a day ahead. I love the dog collar Kaylee made from Sweet Peas. Thank you. I know she would appreciate that. Ruby, the pug, looked super cute in his sweet pea collar. And that would make a beautiful crown. I'm guessing that would need to be made the morning of the event. So this is one of the ones that Shelly answered. So Dave, do you want to take it away?
Sure. All right, so Shelley says, almost any flower can be wired and made into a corsage. It's true. As we know, some flowers hold up better than others. Ranunculus actually are great for corsage work because of their high petal count and timeless garden look. Hellebores, Nigella blooms, Scabiosa blooms, Blushing Bright Protea, Strawflower, Hyacinth, and Nerine blooms are all great and more unusual, softer looking alternatives. Delicate flowers like sweet peas need to be definitely made day of and spritzed with a floral sealer like Crowning Glory or similar. It essentially keeps the flower from transpiring as quickly. Most flowers hold up for about 2 hours out of water. You can get almost 7 with a product like Crowning Glory. So super important to treat your flowers and pamper them. Yes. If you want to see how this product works, check out a post done by Alicia at Flirty Fleurs. Alicia did a test on some notoriously difficult flowers out of water, and the results are impressive. It's an OG product that has been around for years, and I think every florist should learn how to utilize. Oasis brand makes a foliage spray sealer as well.
Yeah.
So good stuff from Shelley.
Yeah, all that stuff is super important. Allie and I will find the link because I remember that on Flirty Fleurs. So we'll find the link and make sure we include that in our show notes for you guys so you can check it out. Not unless Allie can find it while we're chatting, she can include it in the comments, but we didn't have that in our show notes for you guys. And I also wanted to say, I love that she used OG. That's been something I've used for such a long time. Because it's so true. There's all these newbies and there's all these people that have been around for a long time and been there, done that, and but still amazing. And product goes with that too. So OG is perfect for that. Original gangster.
OGG.
Yeah.
Original garden gangster.
I love it. Good stuff. All right. So a couple other questions, flower business related. Sarah wants to know, she started her business about 4 months ago. She works out of her home. Do you think it's worth investing a lot in hard goods, rentals, having a wide variety, obviously close to her style? So what are, I think Shelley answered this one too. Yeah.
Yeah, she did. She says, hi, Sarah, congrats on your new business. Advice, I would start out slowly and build up your inventory based on your needs right now. I would also create a business plan, decide who your bride is and what kind of market you're in first. Do you want to get into props and rentals as part of your business? Remember, everything you buy for one wedding needs to make sense for future weddings or events. Props like large urns, stands, or column, which are usually a safe bet, are things you can feel confident to invest in and know you will probably use repeatedly. Often centerpiece containers can vary bride to bride, so you either can decide on 2 or 3 styles that you offer and leave it at that. A wide variety is not necessary, or you can end up amassing a collection of vessels you may only use once or twice. I think it's best to begin curating your look and stay conservative initially. As a side note, it is also a plus if you can sell the container with the design too. So many people like to take the florals home after an event.
So true.
It's often a challenge for florists at the end of the event to get their containers back without destroying the flowers. That is why it's a good idea to use a liner that you can lift out of the original rental during strike. Lots of good advice in there.
Really good advice. And honestly, a lot of people, be prepared to have to replace, and also be prepared. How are you going to handle when someone actually takes the vessel home? Usually in your contract with your client, you'll have something in there stating, there's a replacement cost for that. And make sure they know that, and you stress that they will be charged for anything that just kind of disappears. So there's lots of different ways that you can handle that, but just, be prepared. And I love Shelley's advice on kind of starting small, kind of working your way up. Because honestly, then you got to have enough space to store that. I know just for my very small vase collection in my own house, it's kind of a pain in the butt, like where do I put it? That's not going to get knocked over by the kids and the dogs and all that jazz. So
if I could add anything to that too, it's always great to network with your fellow floral friends in your area so that you can kind of beg, borrow, and steal from each other. We actually have a few people that we use when we put on events here in Phoenix that will let us borrow their larger vases and props and whatnot. So make friends with your fellow florists.
Yes.
We can all get along.
Exactly. Lift each other up. Another question from Gay. We're going to move on. What are good sources for large containers to be used for ceremonies? Statement pieces that don't break the bank.
Okay, Gay. This has always been challenging for florists. You need something that looks elegant and weathered, but not too heavy. Waterproof with a deep enough bowl to hold the proper size mache container that doesn't cost $1 bazillion. There are many companies that make urns, and the trick is finding the perfect ones. Besides our usual wholesale floral suppliers like San Diego Wholesale or Floral Supply Syndicate, her go-tos have always been Lowe's, Home Depot for large outdoor gardeners. Good advice.
Mm-hmm.
They are usually very sturdy and are made out of faux stone material and are waterproof. Ballard Designs, Pottery Barn, and home decor companies like Park Hill Collection, one of her favorite companies as well.
Yeah. And I want to give a shout out to Accent Decor. You know, obviously they're more high-end luxury, but again, I think it goes back to, you know, just buying pieces that really you think you can incorporate in all different situations, that you can rent them out in all different situations, and it's well worth the investment. So I don't think it's great to look at things that aren't as expensive, but also look at pieces that are investment pieces that are going to make the long haul, that are going to be with you for 10, 20 years. So something to think about as well. Thanks, Dave. Our next question is from Rebecca. I'd love to get more higher end brides who are not on such a budget. Any tips? And I'm also, I think, going to ask Jody this too, but I'll see. I didn't send this to Jody, but she might have some ideas too. But what did Shelly have to say?
Okay, Shelly says, hi, Rebecca. What I'm hearing is that you would like to attract higher end brides. There's an old saying, wealth attracts wealth. If you want to appeal this kind of bride, then it is the kind of business you need to be projecting. Are you yourself high end? How have you curated your brand? What kind of work does your portfolio show? A lot of DIY or low budget weddings are not going to bowl over potential high end clients. What is your minimum? Do you say yes and take every wedding that comes your way? Learning to say no to the wrong work for you is saying yes to the work you want. Target your focus to working with vendors who only work with high-end brides themselves. You will have to work hard to break into these types of circles. You have to think like the wealthy think. It's possible you may have to rebrand yourself and overhaul the look or work you are currently doing. Burn this word into your brain, luxury. There is nothing cheap or budget-friendly about it. And another thing to remember, this is a very small part of the overall wedding market. So you have to really have to take a laser focus to your approach it here and make sure that you become the luxury vendor these brides want to talk to.
Yeah.
Make sure this is actually what you want, because working in this upper echelon of the bridal market is a whole different world. And I just had a similar conversation with one of my clients the other day who does a really high-end executive out here. I won't drop names. GoDaddy. Got the GoDaddy account. There, I did drop the name. Anyway, she had bought some stuff off the specials and noticed that the Bells of Ireland were a little bit skinny this week. They were a good price, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then we brought in some stuff from South America, and that was twice the price, but 3 times nicer. So we had this exact conversation. I said, Mickey, the work that you do is spectacular, not special. So if you're going to buy off the specials, and you may not necessarily get stuff that's spectacular all the time.
Exactly.
It's like my mama said, you get what you pay for. And sometimes you need to spend the money to make the money. Anyway, that's my take on it. So
no, it's totally true. And then I just wanted to add to that as well. You know, looking and talking, walk the talk, you know. I think that's kind of Shelley's message there. But when you are doing kind of high-end luxury events, you need to remember that you need a really big team to pull that off. Usually it's not just a one-man show. I see Jody, she's in my waiting room shaking her head. Like it takes a lot to pull off luxury events. And so that's something that you need to plan for and be prepared for and invest in. That's my take. And I know I had Eddie Zaratsian, super high end, super luxury, works with like huge worldwide brands. And he literally has a team that I'm sure he has to hire on freelancers and things like that. Anytime we work with any of the celebrity designers, and we do work with a lot of them, they all bring in freelancers and they have to pay for that. And it's lots of truck rentals and refrigeration rentals and things like that. Other thing that I wanted to add to this is, I forget who I was listening to, but they were asking about, you know, how did you get the kind of luxury clients, and, you know, how did you build that up? And did you say no? And so his take was, you know, I pretty much, you know, when I'm starting out, I got to take all the jobs that come my way. You know, I'm trying to make a living. I'm trying to do that. But he said, I didn't show the event. I didn't talk about it. I didn't take pictures of it. I didn't share it on Instagram unless it really fit the brand and the client that I was going after in the long run. So again, come up with the marketing plan. Jody and I can talk about more about that, but you've got to kind of really be cognizant of what you're showing, what your brand, what your face is. And that doesn't mean that you can't do other things, but just, you know, make sure you're showing what you really want to go after. All right. That's my little soapbox right there. So Dave, I'm going to move on to marketing stuff, not unless there's anything that you wanted. Ooh, I do have a question. Maybe you can answer super quick from Christina. Sure. She wants to know about Paris Japonica, how it holds up, and is it available right now?
We just finished, I think, the local cut from Oregon. So I believe we're done with that now. I would have to do some research to see when the next crops are coming in and where, because we get stuff from all over the world off season. Yeah. So stay tuned. We can research that and check in with you. But I know pretty much the last stuff that we got out of Oregon was a couple weeks ago. It was absolutely gorgeous. It tends to all bloom at the same time. Mm-hmm. They cut it all, and then bam, it's gone. So
yeah. All right.
We do import. So yeah. Stay tuned. We'll research that for you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, Dave.
Thank you for having me. Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody.
Ooh, happy. I'm like the only one not wearing green. I have like mint green on. It looks very blue in the video though, but I have minty green on rather than green. I kind of did it. All right. Thanks, Dave. Have a good day.
Okay. Take care. Bye. Thanks. Bye.
All right, guys, before I bring on Jody, I just wanted to go over a couple of marketing news items, and I can kind of get her take on it too once I bring her on. But I really wanted to talk to you about Instagram stories and ads in particular in Instagram stories. So as you know, I've been talking about Instagram stories. I've been letting you know how important this is. I hope that you guys are doing stories. I've been stressing the importance of it for a long time. And if you check out Instagram's latest biz blog post, they have some really interesting tidbits in there that I just wanted to share with you. So they said, as more than 300 million active Instagram accounts around the world watch and create stories every day, Instagram stories is becoming an increasingly powerful way for brands to stand out and inspire action. So true. So again, 300 million active Instagram accounts working with stories. That's huge, guys. And then there's this really great quote about the ads in particular from OpenTable. So Ellie's going to post a link so that way you can check that out. You can see the ad from OpenTable, see what they did with it. Hopefully it inspires you. But from their standpoint, they said their Instagram story campaigns have proven to be some of our highest ROI campaigns to date, while also driving a significant volume of reservations. This ad format not only delivers performance, but also effectively engages our best customers with crave-worthy content. So important, guys. check it out, go to that link, brainstorm some ideas that you can implement for your own business. And again, I'll talk to Jody about this too and get her thoughts on it. The next thing I just wanted to mention real quick too, I don't use YouTube Live, the live streaming tools on YouTube. I probably should check it out. We have a good community there, but they have new live streaming tools and features. So I don't know how much you guys do with live video. Hopefully you're getting into it, dipping your toes. But some cool things about this is that when you're watching the replay later, the comments replay in conjunction to what you're watching. So you feel like you're watching live, even if you're not, which is great. YouTube also offers live auto captioning to live videos, which is crazy. I want to try that out just for us because of all of our crazy flower names, just to see what would happen. So scary and crazy, but really cool. And again, audio is huge. Auto captioning is huge. I actually started adding that to all of our videos, and so it's been really, really a great thing. And then also YouTube is adding new metrics to their videos. One example of those is unique viewers. So this is so huge. You can take a look at this number versus how many subscribers you have, which videos you have posted that your current unique videos are into, current unique viewers, are into, and then you can keep hitting hard there. I feel like Jody is doing a live video right this second. I love it. So let me bring Jody on, guys. I wanted to, just in case I do split this up into 2 podcasts, I'm going to end this part of my replay here, guys, and check out my next podcast with our interview with Judy Duncan. All right, take care. And let me switch on over. All right. Hey, Jody. Welcome to Mornings with Mayesh. I cannot hear you. Nope, I can't hear you. One moment, please. We'll see how this goes. We could hear her before. So while we're waiting for Jody to get on, guys, I just wanted to introduce her a little bit. So she is she's one of our Mayesh design stars from way back when. She was like one of our originals almost. She helped us pave the way in kind of doing what we do now, which I think is amazing. She has Judy Duncan Designs. I love her logo, just for that company. If you guys haven't seen that, check it out because it matches her and it just is the best thing in the whole wide world. No, I can't hear you. Maybe try and refresh. Try refreshing. Yeah, try that. And she just launched a consulting business called Social Jody. So I obviously want her to kind of describe that for you. But it is just all about marketing, social media, business advice, all of that jazz. So super cool. I hope you guys check it out. We'll post a link for that. Let me see. I'm going to bring her on. Hopefully we can hear her. Hey.
Hello.
I can hear you. Woo. Yay. All right. So welcome to the show, Jody. I am so happy to have you on, and seriously, amazing person in our community. If you guys don't know her, that's why I love bringing people on, because we have so many newbies. We have this huge community worldwide, just a great person involved with lots of things. And so before we get started, Jody, can you tell us a little bit about yourself that I haven't already shared?
Well, I was the second design star when you guys started the series. That's like, I don't know, another life ago, but it was a wonderful life, and I'm so grateful for that. But I've been hanging around flower shops since I was 7 years old. So that's like 40 years hanging around in the flower industry. And I just love it. Reinventing myself. I still do flowers. I still do events. I still do interiors. Creativity is my oxygen, and there's still so many people I want to help. And I'm a little bit hyper and high energy. So I got bored telling my own story. So by launching Social Jody, I can help a lot of other people. I started helping Design Master Color Tool back in July, and they had a few goals they wanted to meet, and we met those goals in about 5 months. And so I thought, but I know that I've applied for them, I can help other people with. And so that's kind of how it was born.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. And also just a little plug for Design Master. They're also amazing. I feel like a lot of the new people in the industry kind of shy away maybe from using color tools because they're like, oh, I don't want to spray paint flowers, but it's not necessarily about that, right? It's so much more than that. It's helping kind of cut down your costs, cut down your throwaway, being able to touch up those blooms that might not look so hot, but you still want to be able to use them. I know you can talk a little bit more about that, but they're just huge into education, into our industry. They really believe in they're really good people. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there as well before we get started.
People. I love contracting with them and helping them with things. I mean, really, Design Master, I'm glad you mentioned that there is some resistance to using Design Master. But if to shift color, just a blossom or two just gives a great depth of design.
Yeah.
And then also, this is what I say about Design Master. It's, you know, you and I didn't roll out of bed looking like this morning. There's some enhancements that happened here.
Nope.
Maybe you rolled out of bed looking like this, but I did not. And so, so Design Master, think about it as cosmetics for flowers. It just takes what's already good and elevates it. And so that's what Design Master is all about. Just making stuff better.
Yeah, and I definitely want to help spread that message because it's something that I believe in. So it's a good tool to have in your make a profitable business kit. That's for sure.
Agreed.
All right, I wanted to start everything off with, I had a question from Jessica. She said she wants to hear from other floral artists on their favorite way to capture their work. I have a nice digital camera with a DSLR, but I feel like my images don't capture my designs well, and I'm constantly trying to get professional images, hoping they're able to capture it. What is your advice for Jessica?
Well, in a perfect world, photographers have lots of time to send us images that aren't watermarked and that show our product in the best light. So hopefully that happens. If that doesn't happen, I've learned that when I'm styling and setting up an event, if I go in as the photographer too, I can't do it. So I'll hire an extra person to take my own images. That way I know. Find somebody who's a budding photographer or a young photographer that just wants to get some experience. I mean, I have a DSLR camera too, but I don't use it. I'll hire somebody to take those pictures in case I'm working with a photographer that is either just going to flake out and not give me the images. And props to the photographers. I love the photographers, but they just get busy or they don't have time or they're not very motivated to share.
Right.
So, sometimes we try to wear so many different hats. It's best if you can give somebody the photography hat to wear so that you don't have to do it. And ask ahead of time. Say, hey, could I have these images? I'm really looking forward to getting the images of this event coming up, and then follow up after the event. Hey, I'm really looking forward to the images. And have them put it in Dropbox so that you can have the good high-res pictures. That would be my advice.
Yeah, no, that's great. My kind of 2 cents is also take pictures of your things before you get to an event. Have a little corner set up. You know, it could be something as simple as, you know, I have this foam core here and I put it's just a big piece of foam core. I just put it on a bench or a chair or a table, wherever, against a nice clean wall. So like my walls in here are nice and almost white looking. I have like a nice plain beige and I have like this aqua wall. So I have like a couple areas that I use in my own place. You can also get like super cheap backdrops, and that way you can just set something up and have something super fast to like pop your arrangement in front of and take a good picture. I also have, just so we can see if we can see this little guy right here. So I have a super cheap light kit that I get on Amazon. It's just 2 LED lights and it has the umbrellas to kind of help with the reflection. So, you know, if you don't have a well-lit area, because always, again, try and be like kind of in front of a window with natural light. Like I have a window on the right side of me. So if I had flowers here, I could put my little foam core up on the left side of me. It bounces the light off. It makes it even. Super easy. Super cheap, and it'll help elevate taking pictures. The DSLR, I think, is great, but I take really great pictures just using my phone. I think the key, no matter what you're holding, is to either not hold it, put it in some type of tripod, so that way it's nice and steady. I know I try to be steady, but my hands move a little bit. Yep, Jody has a nice little mini one right there. Perfect. So just pop your phone on it, pop your camera on it, so that way there isn't any kind of movement, because a little tiny of movement makes a huge difference with picture quality. The as soon as you, or if you are holding it, put your elbows on something. Try to like be a tripod if you don't have a tripod. Right?
It's a good excuse to buy the iPhone X, which is horrible. I'm a brat, but I did it, and my pictures are so much better.
I mean, yeah, the new cameras, the iPhones, and even I'm a Samsung girl, so even like the Notes and things like that, I think the iPhone X has a better camera like overall, but still either of the newer cameras right now have amazing abilities. Like it blows your mind like how far it's come. I think about like my first original pictures I used to take on my flip phone, and they were so grainy and gross, and now it's like, DSLR what? Still a time and a place for that, but I don't think it's necessary.
Right.
I'm sorry, my puppy is totally playing right now, so I don't know if you guys can hear him. Can you hear that? No.
I can hear him. He's happy. Those are happy barks.
Yeah, they're totally playing in the background, so I'm sorry about that. I work from home. I have 3 dogs, and 2 kids and a husband, so it gets a little bit loud in here, and so they're being a little crazy right now. So I'm sorry. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So my next question is, what advice do you have for our viewers who want to get started in social media but aren't sure where to start?
I feel like that's a lot of people don't feel like you're late to the dance if that's your thought, but just start. Just start. Do not overthink it. I think that's the biggest mistake people make, is they wait for the stars to align and for everything to be perfect, and for you to have the right camera, and that you have a whole calendar out, and that you can have a complete grasp of it. Just jump in and do it. You just want to get people to know you and to like you and to trust you. And you might say, I don't have anything to say. I don't know what to say. If you're in the floral industry, we have a lot to say. We are surrounded with beauty, and we create magic every day, but we take it for granted. It's white noise to us because we're living in it. And so pictures of the things that are happening, the things going in and out of your cooler and coming in and out of those boxes. And if you don't have anything to say, if you can't create content, then curate content. Go look at other accounts and just amplify their message. Give them credit. Don't be creepy about it. But if you don't have time to do, or you're not in a do mode in your head, then document what somebody else is doing and say, hey, look at this great wedding shot from so-and-so. And ask permission and tag them, but amplify their message. It's not always about your content. Take your circle of influence and spread it over other people, and other people that you think are amazing. Probably somebody else will think they're pretty amazing too. So don't get hung up on the tech side of it. I think that's another huge mistake. One of them is just being afraid and overthinking. Mm-hmm. The other one is they think it's all. Yeah. I'm not very technical. You know what? Technical people are not social. I would rather not always. There are exceptions, but tech people generally aren't known for their social sophistication and savvy and fun to be with personalities. I would rather train your 70-year-old Meemaw on social media than your tech department. And I'm not kidding, because Meemaw is probably spunky, and she's smart, and she just knows how to communicate, and she just kind of gets it. So people get too hung up on the media side of social media and not the social side of social media. So I think that's another mistake, is thinking social media is a tech function, because it's not. It's not. Yeah. It's social. If you are socially savvy and you're friendly and people like you, then I can teach you the other stuff about social media, but that's half the battle.
Yeah, I agree. Just get started, and then you will learn, as you're going and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and just playing around. And even for myself, I work from home. Our Mayesh branches are all over the country, and most of my team works from home actually. And so, obviously I do get product here and I can take pictures of it, and we go to events and we get images from there. But there's a lot of times where I have to pull from other sources. Not everything is our original content. So, just make sure, like Jody said, don't be creepy. Make sure you're giving credit, so that way people, it's like the worst.
Makes you not look like you're such a pompous person, that it's all about me and you're all about the selfie and you're all about that you're saying, hey, this person's really cool and this person's really cool and this person's really talented and look at what so-and-so made and this is beautiful, so that you're not just like, I'm fabulous,
right.
And it's all about you all the time. Find other people that are in your niche or other people that you admire and share their stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Real quick, I have a couple of questions I wanted to answer about the flower, or about taking pictures. So Roxanne saying, where do you purchase backdrops? And then Summer wants to know if we can give more details about the light kit. And yes, I will post that in our show notes. But I pretty much buy most of my things off of Amazon, the big giant that's kind of taking over the world. Unfortunately, I like to buy stuff online, and I like to use my Prime membership and get it in 2 days. And so that's what I do, because, it's just what I do. I know. Yeah, right. Okay. So I will definitely include that in the show notes, but Amazon is my go-to place for pretty much all of that, because I can look at all the reviews and see all the different features and so many different kinds of lights. For example, like there's this really cool, like round one that you can put a camera in the middle and it lights up your face perfectly and things like that. So it just depends on what you want. But very, very good stuff. So I'll definitely post that for you guys. Good tips on getting started. So my next question for you, Jody, is, do you think that all the content that is shared by business needs to be professionally created?
I think it depends on what content it is. If you're doing graphics for Instagram or for your Facebook cover or things like that, then by golly, it better not have Comic Sans. It better not have a glittery butterfly heart emoji. It needs to be clean and look like it was professionally created, even if it wasn't. And there's lots of apps out there. We can put them in the show notes for you that you can make these look like it was professionally created, but it wasn't. But if the pictures are bad, if it's blurry, if it's just messy, if it doesn't have a focal emphasis, it's hard to read, no weird 80s clip art.
I hate clip art. Hate it.
It's hard to overlook bad design in an industry that's based on aesthetics.
Yes.
So if you're already not there, hire somebody who is, and there's apps that you can kind of hack your way through. Now, the other content I would say is for video. There is a place for the polished and the precious, and I think that's super, super important. But you have to keep in mind that today's society understands Snapchat and reality TV. So they're going to overlook a certain amount of raw, glitchy weirdness with that your videos might have. And if you can just do it raw, shot from your phone, not overthought, even if you're telling a story and your viewers already know, like, and trust you, they're going to overlook some of the imperfections. I mean, you want the sound to be good, and like you were talking about Amazon, you can get little mics that you can use that just help. There's lots of little things, but engagement is more important than perfection. That's what I would say. If you can tell a good story, your audience will love you no matter what. If frame it the best you can, make sure that you can see okay and it's not too shaky and too weird, but they just want the engagement more than they want the perfection. And they're used to reality TV and they know about Snapchat. So
exactly. So what I wanted to add to that, going back to the beginning of what you were saying, so like for infographics and graphics and images and things like that, if you're not lucky like me to have an Adley Dawson on your team, because she does most of our graphics for us, I occasionally do some, but she's our designer and she's amazing, and she does the Adobe Illustrator and all that jazz, all the fancy stuff. But if you're not fancy and you don't have that kind of budget, that's okay. So what I use when I'm creating my own things typically is, oh shoot, did I end? I didn't end, right? I almost hit the end broadcast button. Woo! meant to hit show, not end broadcast. It's too close. I need to be live now. Okay, so it's called canva.com. And that's kind of where I have all my branding in there, all of our fonts, all of our colors. I have different things that I've already created, different sizes. You can have all different sizes, but they have tons of templates, tons of super great images for super cheap, like $1, right? So that's like the one thing I don't like about some of the stock photography sites is because it costs like $30 and you're going to use it once or twice maybe, and then it's done. This is $1. It goes by download. So you got to make sure you got your image right before you download it. But if you need things like that, they have it. And so it's just a really great tool to use for those types of things, like infographics, graphics for Instagram, promo things, stuff like that. You mentioned camera stuff. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a cold. So, and I'm getting towards the end, like the hour marker, and I'm going to be losing my voice here soon. But for your phone, I actually have a little boom mic that I can plug into it. And then I have this thing called a shotgun. So it's like a tripod that you hold with a boom mic. So, if you're kind of on the go and you want to do something like that, it literally pops in like 2 seconds. You've got like a little video equipment setup, super easy. And doing video, I've seen tons of amazing, really high quality live videos. So it's super raw, but doing really great things. So just try to think of how you can use that in your own marketing plan. I think would be great. I'm looking at some of these comments and things. So Penny says, engagement over perfection, love it, shows the real human side of a business. Totally agree. I'm still trying to get my voice, I'm sorry. Okay, so next question. So we're talking about content, and speaking of content, besides sharing pictures of finished work, which is probably all like #1 piece of content that's easy for us florists to create and share, what other content, Judy, what other content ideas do you have that would work well? For example, what would be good video subject matter for florists to produce?
Anytime you're telling a story, from the time your boxes get there and taking stuff out of the boxes, those are great stories. And then just what the product looks like after 24 hours of processing, the pile of stems in the floor after they've all been cut up. Tell a story. That's really what you're doing, is telling a brand story. And so you don't have to come up with some cinematography that's amazing or some big dramatic thing. Just little snippets of your day, just deliveries and the things you might be doing or planning, or the big stack of files on your desk for all those proposals that are waiting, or you're excited email inbox is empty. Just kind of walk them through the process and be transparent. I know you think nobody cares, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in it, you don't see how fascinating it is to other people. We're blinded to our own magic. We're blinded to our own talents and gifts, and we just take it for granted. So don't when you have that voice in your head that says, "Oh, that's dumb," or "Nobody cares," just tell that voice to hush and do it anyway. And put that stuff out there. I think that's the biggest obstacle, is people overthinking it or not being very nice to themselves about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it, nobody cares, or that's not interesting, or that's not cool enough, or that's not sexy enough. Put it out there.
I know. People fall in love with other people, not necessarily like a business. They fall in love for what that business stands for, and that's usually the people and what they do and things like that. So you need to put the human effect into your brand, and using social media is an amazing way to do that.
It is. It's a great way to do it, because back in the day, we just had our websites and that was it. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have Instagram. But all the eyes are on Instagram and Facebook. So do you need a website? Yes. Does it need to be pretty nice? Absolutely. Does it need to look good? Yes. But there's more traffic on Instagram and YouTube and Pinterest than there is on your website. I mean, unless you're Beyonce or something, but more than likely there's more eyes on these other platforms. There just is. And so get over there and engage people and get them to know, like, and trust you. Then once you get their attention, then you can win their hearts. Then they can check you out and dig deeper.
Yeah. So you touched a little bit about it already, but what social media platforms do you think are most important to florists?
I think because what we do is aesthetic and it's about the pretty. It's about the pretty. So I think Instagram is huge. I mean, Facebook is pretty and there's a lot of traffic there, but there's a lot of junk there too. Instagram is just pages and pages of pretty. And I'm weird in the sense that just because I follow you on Facebook, I probably don't follow you on Instagram. Instagram, what I see on Instagram is all about the pretty. And so if you're not posting a lot of pictures, I'm of flowers or interiors or things that are really pretty, I might not follow you there. For Facebook, it's going to be customers and friends and puppies and what to eat for breakfast and, you know, kind of a little more intimate than Instagram. But I think Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest are all really important. But it's hard for me too because I think it's hard to say because it's like asking me which child is my favorite. I like them all. It just depends on where you want to go and what you need to find and what your point is. What's the long game? Where do you want to go? Where are you on the spectrum of social media? Focus on Instagram and Facebook. People who have a good grasp of Instagram and Facebook need to look into live streaming and podcasts and YouTube. That would be my advice.
Good stuff. So for me, Instagram is like number one. Instagram is our king for social media. Facebook, there's so much going on with Facebook, not just with the garbage, but with all the algorithm changes, which eventually will trickle down to Instagram, I'm sure of it. But right now it's just, they're making it really difficult for businesses to be seen unless you're putting out very engaging content. So going back to what you said, Jody, super important. Make sure like whatever you're putting out is engaging and just test it. You know, if it doesn't work out, that's okay. Try to do something a little bit differently, or maybe try a different time of day, or, you know, those types of things are super important. But those are huge. And then Pinterest will just never go away for you guys because you have your brides, you have your clients, and they make their Pinterest boards. And until something better comes along, right? Like you need to be there. You got to be where your clients are. So, you know, even if you loathe Pinterest, that's okay, but you still need to be pinning your content in there, creating your boards, incorporating other people's content. So that way you're getting reached and people find you.
I have a Pinterest board that is attached. I just made for a local venue that I love to do weddings at. And it is my biggest Pinterest board that gets the most repins on it. And I get a lot of weddings from this venue. So I strategically made this, named it after this venue, dumped a ton of pictures in it, and I got a lot of brides from it. So it's a great marketing strategy. You've got to be strategic about that. And so that's what I've learned with the stuff I've learned is like, I need to put this to use over at Social Jody and the videos, do videos. Facebook loves videos. We started doing just some little live videos that weren't produced, that weren't clips, that weren't pretty and precise. And we've reached more people with one video than we reached since like October. And so it's amazing. And then we connected some private groups to that account as well. And Facebook, it's going up for us because of the videos that we've done and because we attached Facebook private closed groups to that account. So that's been exciting to see.
Yeah, it's awesome. And just to talk about your video, that really caught my eye about Social Jody. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I need to talk to her about that. And then you did the Valentine's Day video with the cookies. And then, you know, if you're giving someone cookies, you're not going to give them a bowl of the chocolate chips and butter and the eggs. And Jody's wearing these cute little heart glasses, and then she tied that into flowers. So it was super cute. And I think it has over 10,000 views. People loved it, and I think close to 200 shares, right? Something like that.
It's up near 100,000 now, and it's had like.
Oh, then I must have been looking at some other thing. Yeah, it like went super viral, right? Yeah.
It went crazy viral. I think it's like I want to say across all platforms, it was almost 100,000 views. It's
nice.
On Social Jody, it had like 14 or 18,000. On Judy Duncan Designs, it had like 40 some odd thousand, and then it was on Twitter, and it was on YouTube, it was other places too. So I think if you add it all up, I haven't added it in a while, but that was what, a month ago? Tomorrow. So I haven't looked to see it, but I did that at midnight I just had a wild hair. I know that's hard to believe. I have wild hair. But I had a wild
I love it.
and I did that at midnight. I did not overthink it. I just jumped out there and threw it together, and it goes. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not just telling you guys, don't be perfectly polished. Don't be blah blah blah. I'm a practitioner. I'm doing it too. I'm eating my own cooking. I'm taking my own medicine. So I'm doing it too. But the outreach and the encouragement that people found in that video, because it spoke to consumers, it's about knowing who your ideal customer is. And it resonated with consumers. It resonated with floral professionals. So that was both two powerful combinations. And then it resonated because of the timing on the calendar. So those three things kind of made it the perfect storm, but it wasn't because it was perfectly produced. It wasn't because it was polished. I did it in one take and boom, it was done.
Yeah. You're also very good in front of a video camera though. So I know this from experience.
Go waste a half a day of your life watching these star videos.
You got to get caught up.
I know, right? Go dig into these old design stars,
I know. I need to do, but I do share some, I do go do like Throwback Thursdays. I haven't done it in a while though, but I need to do that more so I can bring more of those videos out again. It's good stuff. Okay, so we talked about where everyone needs to be. Where do you think people need to think about being eventually? So social media platform, everything changes, but what's going to be important in a few years? What do you think? Any thoughts?
Podcasts, I really do, because it's time arbitrage. I mean, a podcast, you can listen in your car, you can listen while you're rocking a baby, you can listen while you're falling asleep, you can listen in the shower. It's really efficient, and it makes it smarter. It's a win-win. If you're not signed up to podcasts, you should be. I really think that's where it's going. I just really think podcasts are where it's going, which is weird for us because we're so visual. We want to, but there's a whole bunch of people that want to listen, and the market decides what it wants. So we need to not disappoint the market and be audio, not just visual.
Right. Podcasting was huge for me. It's been something that I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time, pretty much since I've started this show, but I wanted to do this show for a very long time before I even started. It was just trying to figure out who was going to do it with me, because I can't answer all of these flower questions all by myself because I am not a designer. I'm not the authority on that topic.
But your platform, and that's what's so important, because you are so smart to do this. You've always been ahead of the curve, Yvonne, and so the fact that you just provided an environment and you're leading the charge and you're leading the way gives other people the courage to jump in. Because I've been wanting to do it too, but I haven't done it yet either. But I'm saying, well, you should totally do this.
Yeah, we need to do it. I think it's so important. And so I finally figured it out. But the beauty about podcasting is it can be passive consumption. So like for video, I occasionally will play a video and listen to it, right? So that's when I was like, I do it a lot, actually. I listen to lots of webinars and live videos and things like that because I have to. That's part of my job, which is also the beauty of why I love my job. It's always changing. I always have something to learn. I'm a lifelong learner. That's something I know about myself. I get bored very easily. So if I'm doing the same thing all day, I'm done. Like Mayesh actually is the first place I've actually built roots and stayed there longer than 2 years. I've been here for a while now, and but it's because I get to grow and try new things and do new challenges, and I love that. So that's the beauty of social media, though. The beauty of podcasts too is because it can be, again, we're all need to consume, but sometimes it's hard to fit it all in. So like I can listen to something while I'm doing something else, and it's not always the best way, but at least I know, like, if they're talking about something, I can stop what I'm doing and really pay attention. Not everything relates to everyone, and so podcast, voice, all of that, guys got to get into it for sure.
Absolutely. It's a big deal. I love podcasts. I listen to them. I fall asleep listening to podcasts most of the time. I love it.
Yeah. So I have a couple of questions, I think. Let me scroll through. So Kelly here says, I'm always hesitant to share sneak peeks of wedding setups. What about getting permission to share wedding clients? What do you think about that, Jody?
I don't ever do. I put it in my contract, for one thing, that any images that I show are strictly mine. I would be really careful just to give sneak peeks, like very, very discreet peeks before, because it's her day. And so let her know and spell it out in your contract, whatever you're wanting to do, and be straightforward. That's what I do. At the same time, you don't want to steal her thunder. This is her big day, and you get to do this every weekend. So you can do a later gram or just do it a little bit later. But give some sneak peeks, but also you don't want to show too much either. You know, you want to think Disney front stage and backstage. You know, you're not ever going to be a Disney employee smoking or, you know, retying their shoes or picking their nose on the street. That's backstage stuff. So just keep in mind some things that might not make you look professional. I mean, there's a place for transparency, but just there's a fine line there. But definitely don't steal the thunder from your bride. And definitely, if you do show some backstage stuff, just make sure it's not too janky or
you want it to fit your brand. You know, even if you're being transparent, it still needs to fit your brand. So like if you're a nose picking brand, great. You know, if you're Kleenex, you're selling Kleenex and that's part of what you do, then that's perfect. But otherwise there's not really much room for anywhere else.
I would get permission from my bride. I have it spelled out in my contract, but I also am respectful that this is her big day. So I don't want the first images on there to be mine. Unless it's like really discreet, very, very sneak peek. I think good communication with your client is key. So just whatever you're wanting to do, make sure it's spelled out in your contract and that they understand it.
Yeah, perfect. I have another great question from Melissa. She says, do you have any tips for separating your personal and business Insta and Facebook accounts?
It's tricky. I actually hired a business coach in the last couple years, and I was trying to divide Judy Duncan into my separate facets, and I finally got permission not to do it. And she used the perfect terminology. She said, you are multifaceted and multi-branded, and it's okay. And I was so relieved because I felt like I was going to have a lobotomy and my brain be all chopped up. You know, I don't have a problem because of how I live my life and who I am. I can be true to myself and true to my brand. If you want to be raw and real with just a few people or just with your family, set up an account that only has 20 or 30 people on it just for the private, personal things that you don't want people to see. Do that. But otherwise, just kind of elevate your personal account to a business account, because for me, and the only thing I can speak to, Judy Duncan is a brand. Yes, we do. Yes, we do social media consulting and marketing. Yes, we do interior design. Yes, we do events and flowers. Yes, we have a traditional shop. I don't have a whole bunch of different social media accounts. It's just Judy Duncan. And I used to try to do that, and people told me to do that. I just couldn't do it, you guys. And then, like I said, I hired this high dollar upper echelon business coach that said, you're multifaceted and multi-branded and you don't have to. And I was like, yay! So I just kind of did that. But it just depends on your personality. If you feel trapped by it or if you feel liberated by it. I don't know that there's a rule across the board. I know a lot of people would say you have to keep them separate, but I'm not trafficking drugs. I'm not doing anything shady. I'm pretty boring. I'm pretty squeaky clean. So
yeah. And for you too, I feel like for you personally, you're not inundating people with tons of personal, you post personal stuff, but it's not constantly. So for like me, for example, I would have to have like two different things because I'm literally like when my daughter has her soccer weekends, I literally post I go through probably 500 pictures. I try to narrow it down to like my top whatever. I have video, and then I have my little one, and I have my puppies, and so it's just a lot. Like I post a lot of pictures, but I also do it because I create scrapbooks out of my Facebook posts. So like I print that for a whole entire year. It's my way of doing scrapbooking without scrapbooking because I don't have time for that.
You know what? Digital makes it easy, and I'm the same. Yeah. And I love seeing your girls play soccer, and I love seeing your puppies. I love that.
But if I was a brand, I think that would be annoying to people. So like, obviously I do. And just so you guys know, if you ever like try to friend me on Facebook, if I don't know you and I haven't hung out with you at least for a day, I'm probably not going to accept your friend request. And it's nothing personal. It's just because it's my personal social stuff's really personal. So it's like, you guys got to know me and know my life and all that jazz before that happens. But for like a normal business, there's definitely benefits. Like if you only have a personal account, you need to get a business account on Facebook. And it's also important because you have to have a business page on Facebook to have a business page on Instagram. So you got to do that before you do the Instagram piece. And that part is just so important, so you can get the statistics, you can get all the insights, there's, doing the ads and things like that. So you got to do the one before you can do anything else and kind of grow that piece of your marketing.
Well, and with Facebook, when you have a business Facebook, you get so many tools and resources there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's free, and we gripe about it, but guys, it's freaking free. I mean, you can monetize it, but like, for instance, that video that you just referred to, I can go back and all of the people who engaged with that, I can target them with an ad.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it shows me who these people are, what their ages were, how long they watched the video. Did they watch it 10%, 50%, 75% of it? And I can pick who I want to target and who I want to send an ad to. So there's strategies to posting things on your business Facebook page. Then you can, nobody sees it on my business Facebook page. Well, put it on your business page and then share it to your personal page if you want to. And it increases your engagement, but then you can also go back into your analytics. You can go back into the insights on Facebook and then target those people so that you're not just doing a generic ad to whoever, but you can really, really target it, especially if whoever's engaged with your other content.
Yeah.
So it might be a little too
important.
A little too whatever, but anyway.
It's good. Good stuff. I don't see any other questions. If you guys have any other questions, post them in the comments. And I'm also running out of time. It's 11:21. I've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes and longer than that if you include all my pre-show stuff that I do. And I have a meeting right now, kind of started 5 minutes ago, but that's okay. They know that I have this show. So post your other questions in the comments. If they're for Jody, I'll get them to Jody. I'm sure she'd be happy to help answer those. And before I let Jody go, though, Jody, I want to know, not related to flowers, what are you obsessed with right this minute?
I'm obsessed with landscaping my yard. We've done a big construction project and a renovation of my house, and it's getting into the done-ish stages, and I want my yard to look like a freaking magazine. I want it to look amazing. So I'm really obsessed with spring coming. And I mean, we've got so much we have to do this time of year. We've got Social Jody webinars coming up at the end of the month that I've got going on, but I want to go dig in the dirt and make my yard pretty. We've got 10 acres out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm obsessed with it looking amazing. So
love it.
Goal for the year is to get that knot to look. I just want it to be groomed and beautiful and an oasis.
Inspiring. I love it. Tell everyone where they can find out more about you and Social Jody.
SocialJody.com is our website. We're over on Facebook too. If you want to come over there and you want some more information, you want some help, you want to say, hey, what the heck were you talking about with the analytics on Facebook and how does that work and where is that at? We can help you with that. There's strategies for that. Come over and just say hi. We've got some PDFs that we send out when you come, or just ask for them. And we send out stuff all the time. So give us your email and then we can give you some information and just some things to help you along the way. We'd be glad to do it.
I love it. I love it. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jody.
Thank you for asking me. It was fun to catch up.
I know. And
I to be your personal friend on Facebook so I can see your puppies and your dogs.
I do
for more than a day so that you'd be friends with me.
We hung out for a whole year. So yeah.
A whole year. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I know. It's amazing though. So thank you again. And I feel like we need to have you on regularly. I want to hear about how everything's going. I know there will be new things to talk about, especially in the world of social media, always and forever. And so again, thank you. And we posted your link. We will, as someone asked where the show notes are going to be, that's going to be up on mayesh.com on their blog. It'll be up in a day or two, just depending on how crazy everything gets. And so I will see you later, Jody, while I close out the show. Bye, babe.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this show as much as I enjoyed doing it. This was such a good one. I hope you enjoyed all the flowers that Dave showed you, all the answers we did. The questions you guys sent in were amazing. Jody was beautiful. I love her personality. I'm so glad to share her with you guys and talk about one of my favorite topics, social media and marketing. So again, just a friendly reminder, be sure to mark your calendar for April 10th at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. I know it's super early, but just grab a coffee and join us. We love having you guys on the show. Keep on shooting over your questions, your comments. I love reading them. I read every single one of them, and we'll add them to next month's show. So it's time to wrap up and for our closing comments. First, if you are new to the show, please follow and like us on Facebook, and so that way you're following our channel. Next, if you found value in our show, please share it. And finally, thank you for coming and being a part of the show. Without you guys, this is nothing. You guys, again, help produce the show, and so I hope that you are as proud of it as I am. And so with that, Shelly, Dave, and I will see you guys next month, and keep on sending your questions. I hope you guys have a rocking day, an amazing day, and be safe on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. Kiss the Irish. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.